there, everybody. Matt Carter here.
And Jessica Carter.
This video is our reaction to Big Brother Canada 8, Episode 4. The path to the eviction of one Michael is pretty much paved at this point. There is a day left of live feeds to determine whether or not he's got any chance at all. We shall see.
Save Brooke. Save Brooke.
Well, okay, Brooke, I don't think Brooke needs a Save Brooke chant. I think Brooke is going to be okay.
She's going to be okay. I really like her, so, you know.
Yeah,
Come on, Brooke.
I think as long as Brooke doesn't do anything too crazy, like get into fights with other people, or steal all the food, or go on the live feeds and say, you know what I hate? I hate delivered meals from Skip the Dishes, then I think she's going to be okay.
It's just anything can change in this game, and it can happen real fast.
Well, we will break down everything from this episode in this video, but before we dive in, if you do enjoy this discussion, give us a like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any other updates, including a lot of live feed scoop we will be doing. But let's get into this episode, because I feel like there's a lot that was really left out of this episode. Carol threatening to quit.
Yeah, where is that? I guess because it didn't end up happening, it wasn't really something they probably wanted to show to more casual viewers. People don't always react very well when people quit a show like this. And to be fair, Big Brother is a really hard show. And I think a lot of times people don't know how hard it is. And then when something happens to you physically or with your health, I mean, you want to get out of there. It just is what it is. But I think they just wanted to move past it. She didn't quit. She's still in the game.
Yeah.
Give her a chance that Canada's going to still embrace her. So I think they did the right thing leaving that out.
I think it would have made things complicated. I think this is the big problem with Big Brother Canada. The live feed purist in me is like, give me everything that I have been watching ever. But then it's also like, okay, you guys have a 42-minute show.
That's right.
You have to throw in the 2-minute promo for Skip the Dishes. You have to do all your other product placement.
Listen, the show needs to be paid.
I know.
We're on the air because we have these, and I'm thankful. Skip the Dishes.
We did Skip the Dishes. We had Chipotle earlier, but anyway, you know, this
not sponsored by Delicious.
There you go. But it's an episode where there's a lot of little gaps that need to be filled in, or at some other point down the road.
Yeah.
But let's just start with this. The show is letting in all the casual viewers to the idea that for the second season in a row, HOH, you do not get to play in the Power of Veto competition.
Yeah.
Sorry. I still hate it.
Oh, I absolutely hate it. I didn't like it when it happened last year. I don't like it this year. I think it's completely unfair. The HOH should be allowed to participate in this and have a chance to keep the nominations the same or do some sort of a backdoor plan. I think that it is crap. All right.
And also we missed out on this from Chris. You know, and there was a point in school where I would do this every day. I would go and I would grab these fish, and I was an expert at it. People told me I was really, really great at it. Chris, in Chris's mind, has zero flaws. Chris is the most attractive, the smartest, the most suave human being who has ever walked the face of the earth.
Listen, the only thing Chris has going on for him is that he's from Markham, and that's it.
If Chris was from, like, a town 2 minutes away from Markham,
no.
This would be an entirely different conversation.
I think that this whole plan, as fun as it was for us as viewers to watch it all go down, Chris really messed all of this up. He made it so messy and upset so many people for no reason. He did not need to make it this messy.
I just think this is where Chris gets himself in so much trouble, because Chris, in his big beautiful brain, he seems to think that after Michael is evicted, here's what he can do. Let's say you're Maddie here. Hey, Maddie. Look into my eyes. It's convincing you to want to work with me now. And that she's immediately going to fall into his arms and be like, we're going to be in the game forever.
Yeah, he really thinks that if Michael's just out of the house, that the women are going to come to him. And I can't wait to see that not happen.
Yeah.
and see how he's going to end up reacting. Like, or is he just gonna follow her around and eliminate every single person that Maddie is with? This is the game strategy, Chris? Come on. Now, putting together the whole, we're going to pretend that it's Min Lee and we're going to pretend that we're getting her out. And she's like, yeah, man, I'm all in on this. I'll be the honey trap. I'm going to go around, be sad and be worried and all this stuff. And it did seem to play out that way for a little while. Yeah, there was a little bit of worried going on, but it didn't seem like it was really that bad. People were buying what Chris was selling.
As an outside viewer, I found this all to be delightfully just diabolical. Like, I love the idea of just really just pulling the wool over someone's eyes in the game. And Min Lee is this is why she's such great casting, because she is so gleeful about being able to screw other people over. It brings me joy watching her play, because she's just so into it.
She's so great, and that she's just like completely self-aware of who she is, and she makes no apologies for it. Even seeing that little scene with her and Suzanne, where Suzanne's like, teach me how to be like you, and they're talking about, go get me some water, go pour it yourself. I was just like, yes, this is what I'm living for with Big Brother Canada, is the casting. They get the casting right. And even though there are people in here that I'm like, yeah, I really like this person, they also have these people that, you know, you love to hate instead of you hate to hate, and you really need to hate them and get them out. That's not happening here this season so far, knock on wood. And hopefully it won't.
Yeah, so far I'm finding great joy in just like skewering Chris, and like my Kyle impression isn't even really a voice. It's just me being like, because that's what I kind of think he's like. He's just this big hulking dude who thinks he is like the master of everything.
I also just like that going into the game, of course, you see everybody's interviews and you're like, oh no on this person. And then I'm in the game and I'm like, yeah, Jamar, you hold that hand. I can't stop liking him and smiling every time he's around. And I thought he was going to irritate me and that I was just not going to be into him. And here I am eating my words. He's just so funny.
My favorite thing about Jamar is that he got fired by Wendy's, which I really want him to get the Wendy's now. Please, Big Brother Canada, make the sponsorships work for us. Bring us the joy.
Now, we saw Hira get the veto, which I was really happy about, because even though he has said that he's going to come in here and play an honest game and a house built on lies, and that makes me really worried for him, because anytime somebody comes in a Big Brother house and they're like, I have integrity and I'm going to not lie, this is not the game for that. You are probably going to be up against a wall at some point that you are going to have to lie to either protect an alliance, protect yourself, whatever it is. You don't have to do like Chris and just lie to lie, which is kind of what's going on at this point. But I was worried about him going in with this gameplay. So to see him win that, I was really happy, because I just like him.
I like Hira a lot. I think he comes across as a pretty nice guy. I mean, he hasn't been the best player yet, but it's early, and it does seem, the more I watch him on feeds, the more people kind of get like integrated with him. They enjoy being around him. He seems to be someone who is doing his best to sort of make friends. And if we do get into a situation tomorrow where Michael really does sort of cement this whole, everyone just, vote to evict me if you're on my side, so that you don't, stick your neck out, and then Hira, he doesn't really have to even choose a side all that much, and he can just continue to work with some of these evictors if he wants to work with them, and he can just be in an okay spot. And I'm not going to be that upset about where Hira is moving forward.
Yeah, I think he's winning this veto sort of showed people, he's here to play, but it also gave an opportunity where more discussion was happening with him, which was something that he was kind of missing out on. And he wanted to go into this and sort of be like, I'm going to be everybody's dad. I'm going to be the guy everybody comes to when they just want to talk to somebody and trust somebody. And I think that's starting to build up now. So I do think he'll be able to continue on through the game as that rock, because in a game like this, you need that type of rock. And that's going to make Hero really dangerous later on if they don't get him out.
I am really excited to see what happens with Tira if he sticks around in the long term. I think he's going to find more and more of his legs for the game, and I think this is a very important veto if Eddie won, because I think he kind of gets attention on himself.
Yep.
People start to talk about him. They start to think about him because he's not in danger. They can't think about him as someone to get rid of right now.
Yeah, and I think it's important, especially with people who are making connections and stuff like that, and actually getting screen time is important. I mean, where's Angie been? She's in this game, and I haven't really seen her that much. There are some people that are in the game that are just kind of invisible to us as more of the casual viewers that aren't watching the live feeds and stuff.
Angie is just in Big Brother No Man's Land at the moment, where it's sort of like nobody seems to really want Angie out right now.
No.
And so Angie could just sort of lay low, not really worry too much about anything. And, you know, this season, it's such a mess. And I don't think Big Brother, they don't have the time to even show how messy it all is on the show itself, because, like, they show Vanessa talking a little bit about, I gotta go tell Kyle what Min Lee is saying.
Vanessa's getting really messy, and I don't know why. It doesn't need to be like this.
Yeah, because Vanessa on the feeds has also talked bad about Kyle and about maybe getting rid of Kyle. And they didn't even show that. Like, they're giving a very inaccurate picture of what Vanessa's game seems to be, which right now, to kind of emulate what her dog is doing on the floor and chasing her own tail.
Yeah, so if you hear that, that's what's going on.
Yeah, so, like, that is precisely Vanessa's game at the moment. I'm just like, Vanessa, you were my chosen one. What is going wrong?
Yeah, and she really had a chance, and she still can right the ship to go far this season, but she needs to just pick allies and stick with those allies, and that's it. She can't play every side. It's not going to work. This house is too small for that.
I've been trying to think a little bit about what Chris could have done differently when it comes to his HOH reign. Could he have just gone ahead, and this is what I've been thinking for a while, just go ahead and nominate 2 people from the start from the Evictors Alliance. They're going to be against you regardless.
Yep.
Somebody wins veto, you can just put another person up. Was he overthinking this, where he thought he could maintain good relationships with the other people and just get rid of Michael?
I think he made a mistake by just not putting up 2 of the other people that aren't Michael in that alliance, and that way when one of them won, he can just put up Michael, and that's it. It's I appreciate the effort that's gone into this plan to try to trick about Min Lee and her going forward and trying to trick everybody too, which was really awesome. But it really all just turned around and bit him in the you-know-what, especially during that whole eviction or the whole veto ceremony, where we actually had, like, Maddie calling Chris a liar, and it's like, yeah, well, you're in the Big Brother house, so sorry.
This is kind of what happens in the game. There's no avoiding it. There's no escaping it. And I just feel like at this point, I don't know what Michael can do to save himself. And I mean, it's not really that big a spoiler, but if you're super worried about the live feeds, you can tune out here. But Michael is probably going. It doesn't seem like anything is really changing that way one way or another.
Yeah, the only thing I could think of him possibly doing, and I just don't think it's going to work, is to try to find another group or some of the bros to bring them over with him so that they can then take a shot at Chris, because Chris did upset a bunch of people. So it's a possibility, but it is real small. I think Michael is out.
I can't figure out the numbers. That the hardest part of this is that I've tried to think of all these numbers in my head. There are 12 people who are voting because Chris is HOH, and then there's 2 people on the block. So because Chris is HOH, you need 7 in order to get rid of Brooke. Yeah. And then ultimately, Michael's got his 3 alliance people. Maybe he can get Hera. You know, maybe he can cause a little bit of chaos and get people like maybe a Carol, maybe a Min Lee or something like that.
Or an Angie. There are other people that are still around in the house. The numbers are still there, but he's got a lot of work to do ahead of him. And the real issue is that the other side has Suzanne doing a lot of work, and she's really good at talking and being able to convince people to believe the lies and smooth things out. She is really dangerous, and I did not expect her to be this dangerous in the game, but she is.
It's true. I mean, she's very persuasive. She's able to kind of get people to do what she wants. And the only thing I can even sort of think about, just vaguely, is if you can get some of these people like a Hira, like an Angie, like some of these players who are kind of on the middle and sort of be like, look at this other group. They may have an alliance too, and they may be even bigger and stronger than us. Maybe Michael can bring them in, but it's also, you look at the way people like Kyle and Vanessa are playing, it's just like these people are all just like one move away from just like crumpling to ash.
Yeah, they are.
This other alliance just feels like too strong. Could Michael have a fake fight with the rest of his alliance?
He could, or the alliance could go together to people and start bringing people in. Like, we don't really know where Carol's landing, Angie's landing, Jamar's landing. We don't know these things yet. So there are votes up for grabs. And if they went and came together with a really good sort of strategy of how to sell this, and they got the right people selling it, maybe they could bring them in to be like, oh, we're going to be a real big power alliance because over there's like the Chris's and the Kyles and, they're big bros. Do we want another big bro rolling over everybody alliance? No, we don't. But over here, look, there's a mix of everybody. There's women here, men here, people who are really smart, people who are really strong, and we can be the big alliance of everyone. There is this much chance if they have a really good story to sell them.
I don't know if we have a good enough storyteller. I think that's the biggest problem.
I think if Suzanne was on their team, they'd be able to work something out, but she's not.
They would at least have a better chance. I mean, you would have somebody who, and ultimately, I think Suzanne, she's able to see multiple sides of things. I think she's able to be persuasive, but yeah, she's not there. But what's going to be fun tomorrow, to be the first actual vote of the season because, Nico self-evicted. So these people, they haven't gotten to vote yet. I think they're all eager to get this done. We'll see what happens. Where do you want to see things go on tomorrow's Big Brother Canada 8 episode? Let us know in the comments. Let us know what you think about tonight in the feeds in the comments. And if you did like this video, give us a like, subscribe, and support us further by checking the link to the store in the description below. And we'll see you here next time.